drug users having a variety of methods of tricking the test. When I started into the low-wage workforce, I looked up, urine/drug test and all those things in the web, and I couldn't possibly download all of the information, all of the possibilities, all the way down to there's some guy, I think he's in Ohio, who markets his own urine. It's clean. You get it through the mail, and in fact, it comes with a little tiny battery to warm it up because they'll be very suspicious if you hand in cold urine.
Capitalism, you gotta love it.
Yeah, there's capitalism once again. Okay, but the most important reason, of course, to why drug testing would not, quote, work in all the ways that bosses assume it will work is that most people are not ingesting the drugs on the job. It's just irrelevant. And the residual mental effects of a weekend joint, for example, are about as powerful as the residual effects of a Saturday night beer by Monday morning. There's nothing. So it would be very surprising if drug testing turned out to be efficacious in the ways that was claimed for it. There's another question about what it might mean for drug testing to, quote, work. Initial arguments, the arguments we began to hear in the late 80s was that people in, quote, safety-sensitive occupations should be tested. And that, sounded sensible, airline pilots and school bus drivers. I guess the assumption, in my part, not being that they would be, that there'd be any lingering effects of their weekend use of drugs, but perhaps, if they were drug users, that they would also want to toke up while landing a 747 or driving a full school bus on an icy street. Let's not take any chances. But when 80% of large companies doing testing was obviously done way beyond the safety-sensitive occupations. When I was applying for low-wage jobs at the beginning of my experiment in low-wage living, for this article I was working on, I was surprised to see that Winn-Dixie, the southern supermarket chain, tests applicants for a $6 an hour job stacking Cheerio boxes. It was hard to see what could really go wrong with that job, no matter how inebriated, intoxicated, or stoned you were. Howard Johnson's test applicants for bed-making jobs. Or in the north, some of you who use New York area airports may have noticed that Hudson News.
We so happy we alive, we together can survive. Stop the bullshit, stop the lies, and now's the time to legalize. Tell me brother, tell me true, what the hell we gonna do? Remember the days we saw purple haze, 1 and 1, and 1 is 3. Hey, hey, baby, what you do to me? We so happy, we alive, we together can survive. Mother Nature, heaven sent, don't belong to government. Hey there, sister, what's the plan? Do you really understand? Remember the days we saw purple haze, 1 and 1, and 1 is 3. Hey, hey, baby. baby, what you do to me. We so happy.
It was like a bouquet of rice. It was multicolored. It was fragrant. It was alive. It was vital. It was like the lawyers in society had a beautiful bouquet of rights, and we proudly presented them and showed them and respected them and loved them. Then what has occurred under guise of war on drugs? The first of this beautiful bouquet to go was what I'll have to say, the Fourth Amendment. We all know, the lawyers all know that the Fourth Amendment now is just a little shadow of what it was 40 years ago, for sure. Then search warrants were real. Probable cause was required. Honesty in terms of affidavit allegation was required. The impartial magistrate would impartially scrutinize to ascertain whether or not the probable cause existed. Our house was protected. Our vehicle was protected. Our person was protected. Now you know, with regard to the Leon Doctrine, that if the officer is good faith, even though the search warrant's bad for a number of reasons, the search is validated. So search warrants aren't worth the paper they're written on. As you know, wiretap has increased like an ugly disease. As you know, electronic surveillance, the 1984 themes of the utmost invasion into our most precious gift of our security of home and house, electronic surveillance, authorized or unauthorized, is daily police law activity. Overflights are common. This is the war that they wage on drugs, that they wage on marijuana. As a consequence, the most beautiful flower of our bouquet of rights has been destroyed by law enforcement. Next, 40 years ago, the activists would picket the grand jury process with placards and demonstrations and fiery speech. I was just young, I was in awe, I listened, I respected. Now look what this grand jury process has grown to be. It is a secret process. It is a process where the defendant or the target or the accused is not present, is not advised, unless he learns surreptitiously that it's even occurring. There's no lawyers, no cross-examination, no production of documents, no discovery. The grand jury process pits son against father, mother against